Wolfy Darkmoon. You see, I am what you call a normal student. Well, not really a normal student, since I consider myself as a furry. At some point. But except for that, I think, I guess I am a normal student after all. I am a 16-year-old emo boy in a boring school with boring teachers, boring comrade, and worst of all, boring homework. Most people will agree with me. School sucks. That is why people sleep on their desk, some will read, but me, I draw. I draw furries. For those who doesn't know what a furry is an anthropomorphic animal, which means that it is a normal animal with human characteristics. So one day, I decided to draw one specific character that I made a couple months ago. Now you must think, well, where's the problem? The problem was that I couldn't stop making drawings of that character. I couldn't stop making it more alive. But yet, I don't know if it was all my imagination or if it was a simple, twisted nightmare, or simply if it was an illusion. I'm still confused of what happened. I need to write it down, and hopefully you will deliver to my story. You don't have to believe me because, as I said before, I am not even sure myself if it was real. But if you ever meet it in person, I won't be able to help you with details. I hope you will be able to figure out to defeat it. It all begins on a school day in the middle of a math class. It was a calm and boring October 1st, 2014. I was looking at my blank paper and I was trying to figure out what to draw. Then, after 5 minutes of thinking, I had an idea. I should draw one of my furry characters, also called a persona. After putting hours of effort on the character, it ended up perfectly. My furry character was a black and red emo male wolf with big pointy ears, big cute red eyes, and a smile that warms everyone's heart. He also had red stars on both of his cheeks, and also has a piercing on the left of his ear. He is my first actual persona. I was so proud of myself that I haven't stopped making drawings of him. Every day and every night, the more I put my heart and energy on that character, the more I felt like he was alive. I wanted him to be alive, and I will do everything in my power to do so. After 3 months of drawing, I was starting to have dreams of him. I never thought of his height, but in my dreams, he was looking 6 feet tall, from ears to toe, of course. In my dreams, there was a forest, a beautiful forest with flowers everywhere, little cute animals running around, such as rabbit, birds, and butterfly. So adorable, that's for sure. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the character's name. His name is Wolfy. WolfyBlackmoon. He seems always so happy, and truth be told, he did make me happy too. The more I hang out with him, the more I wanted to make him alive in the real world, so that we can be more closer, you know? So I decided to build a fursuit. For those who doesn't know what a fursuit is, a fursuit is like a mascot costume, but more realistic of an animal. It's famous in the furry fandom. It took me at least a month or two to make it perfectly the way I wanted. I was so happy when I finally finished the last piece of the fursuit. I couldn't wait to wear it for Halloween. In October 31st, I was running around with my fursuit on. I felt Wolfy in my mind jumping around with happiness. I finally was able to make him alive, and now it's like if he was in me, controlling me. There was things I don't even remember. What did I do that day? All I remember was knocking on the door, enter the house while the guy with a camera in his hand invited me inside to take a picture. When he took his camera and the flash went on, suddenly everything blacked out. But strangely, I woke up the next day in my bed without any memory of what happened. A week later, I lost a bit of interest in him. There was no actual reason. I guess I just needed to move on. It has been 3 days now that I am ignoring him. But every time I come back home from school, I always hear those cries coming out of the fursuit. So I decide to put the fursuit in my closet so that I don't hear or ever see him or ever wear it again. One night, I couldn't stop hearing Wolfy crying and beg me to come back to him in my mind. I tried to focus on something else. So I decided to go to the video store to buy some horror movies. Not like those lame movies with almost no gore, such as Chucky or Annabelle. I mean like Saw, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. Classic horror movies with blood, and glory. After watching a bunch of horror movies that night, I opened my phone to see what time it was. It shows that it was 3:31 in the morning. I thought it was late, so I decided to go get some sleep. Remember that forest I mentioned that was in my dream? Well, now, that night, it wasn't a beautiful forest anymore. The sky was dark. The trees was on fire. In the ground, there was animal corpse everywhere. Bloods, guts and flesh. With furs all over the grass. I suddenly notice Wolfy on the dead tree with his paw on the face. He sounded like if he was crying. The scene that was surrounding me was making me so sick. I was so traumatized from what I was seeing. I couldn't help myself to know what the fuck was going on. I needed to know what happened. So I took a seat and put a hand on his shoulder. I asked him softly what happened. He shook his head in response that he didn't want to talk to me. I felt for some reason so bad for Wolfy that I explained to him why I lost interest of him. He started to chuckle a bit. He looked at me straight in the eyes, deep into my soul. As he looked at me, I gasped with surprise. As I looked back at his tears, they were normal tears. They were sticky, red blood tears coming out of his eyes. He tilted his head and makes a creepy, psychotic smile that I never saw him do before. He started to laugh uncontrollably, asking me if it means we're still going to be friends, or at least become friends again. His voice, when he asked me that question, it was like a sad double voice. I was beginning to panic from the inside. I almost couldn't think of a way out. The only way I could see was to trick him, or at least try to. I suddenly nodded with a fake smile. And whispered a yes, expecting everything to be back to normal. But he just stand there, watching me deep into my eyes. So to break the silence, I asked him if he wants to play. But at my surprise, he started to laugh louder. He replied that he wants to play one specific game. It was a mix of 3 games: clues, hide and seek, and tag. When I was about to reply, Wolfy make a screeching owls that hurts my ears. He tackled me to the ground and he clawed my chest slowly. I could feel the pain on my chest. It was hurting me so much that I could actually wake me up from this twisted nightmare. I woke up around 3 a.m. Since I was still laying in my bed, I looked at the ceiling. When I did, my eyes opened wide. When I see the bloody writing on the ceiling, I could read 1, 2, playing with those that are around you. I get off my bed as fast as I could It's when I was off bed that I realized that my closet was open. The fursuit that I made and that I placed in my closet was gone. I ran up downstairs as fast as my leg can handle. I see my fursuit standing right beside my parents' bed. They look at me with a huge smile, and suddenly the power went out. Not for long though, only for a split of 10 seconds. As the power went back on, Wolfy was gone, but my parents were still sleeping on their bed. Without hesitation, I ran towards the kitchen as fast as I could. I grabbed the closest kitchen knife I could find, and I turned around by reflex because I felt like someone was watching me from behind. As expected, Wolfy was standing there with a big psycho smile. He tilted his head slowly to the side and was staring at me. His eyes felt like he was looking deep into my soul. I was starting to hear whispers in my head. I fell to the ground and screamed. Then everything went black. Even though everything was pitch black, I was still hearing those whispers. After what it seemed like forever, I finally woke up again in my bed. My first reflex was to look in my closet. The fursuit was nowhere to be found. I don't know if it was all an illusion or a dream, but all I can say, I can still hear those whispers when I go to bed. I hear, I just want to play. I just wanted to play. One day, we will play again.